May 1943, Atlantic darkness. Commander Howard Thayer, 32, from Baltimore, Maryland, watches his radar screen. 12 U-boats hunt convoy HX-237 somewhere in 60,000 square miles of Black Ocean. German submarines own the night. Always have. Surface warfare doctrine says you can't fight what you can't see. In the next 20 minutes, you'll discover how America turned submarine hunters into submarine prey, killed from 300 yards before captains knew death was falling, and sank 29 U-boats in 6 months with a weapon that rewrote naval doctrine by making darkness irrelevant. This isn't about radar. It's about what happened when destroyers stopped running and started hunting. Commander Thayer commands USS Spencer, a Treasury-class cutter converted for submarine warfare. Before the war, he taught mathematics at Annapolis. His students called him Calculator because he could plot intercept courses in his head. Now he calculates death. The forward deck carries something new. 24 mortars arranged in a pattern British engineers spent 3 years perfecting. Thayer has fired Hedgehog exactly twice in training. Both times, the mortars misfired. Tonight, convoy HX-237 carries aviation fuel for Britain. One torpedo hit, one ship becomes a floating crematorium visible for 20 miles. 12 U-boats are closing. Thayer's orders are simple: keep them submerged until dawn, let air cover finish the job. But submarines surface at night, they always have. Surface means speed, 17 knots versus 7 submerged. Surface means fresh air for diesel engines. Surface means recharging batteries depleted by hours underwater. Surface means tactical advantage the Kriegsmarine has exploited for 3 years, sinking 2,000 Allied ships. The mathematics are brutal. Surfaced U-boat outguns, outruns, outmaneuvers any convoy escort after sunset. Doctrine says, wait for dawn. Thayer's about to ignore doctrine completely. His radar operator, Seaman First Class Robert Chen, 19, from San Francisco, former university physics student whose parents run a grocery store on Stockton Street, spots the first contact at 02:04 hours. Range, 6,000 yards. Bearing, 045 degrees. The dot on the screen pulses green against black. Chen's voice stays level, but his hand shakes, marking the plot board. This is his 14th convoy run. He's seen 3 ships torpedoed, watched 200 men burn or drown. He marks grid reference Charlie 78 with red grease pencil. Thayer studies the screen. The contact isn't moving, probably surfaced, running diesels, charging batteries. Standard procedure. Approach slowly, force dive with star shells, keep German captain submerged until British Sunderland flying boats arrive at first light. That's 4 hours away. 4 hours for 11 other U-boats to position surface fire. But something's changed. Thayer has Hedgehog. The mathematics shift completely when you can kill before they know you're there. Then someone noticed something impossible on the radar return. Inscreva-se para análisis profundas de 20 minutos, 2 vídeos por dia. The U-boat was transmitting. Radio signal meant coordination, meant Wolfpack tactics, meant all 12 submarines knew exactly where convoy HX-237 steamed. The equation transformed from defense into offense. Thayer turns to his executive officer, Lieutenant James Morrison, 28, from Portland, Maine, lobsterman's son who joined the Navy in 1939 because fishing boats don't have heating. Morrison has calculated torpedo solutions for 6 months, watched 3 U-boats escape after depth charge attacks damaged, but didn't kill. He understands what Thayer's about to attempt. Hedgehog doesn't explode on contact with water. It explodes on contact with steel. Miss means silent mortars sinking harmlessly. It means submarine dies. No second chances. Morrison plots intercept course. Speed 15 knots. Time to contact 18 minutes. Thayer orders battle stations silently. No alarms, no announcements that carry across water on quiet nights. Spencer turns toward the radar contact. 12 U-boats hunting. Time to make them the hunted. U-534 Captain Kapitan Lieutenant Herbert Nollau, 34, from Hamburg, veteran of 17 patrols, 23 ships sunk, Knight's Cross recipient, stands on his conning tower breathing night air. Temperature, 8 degrees Celsius. Wind, 12 knots from northwest. Sea state, moderate 3-meter swells. Perfect conditions for surface attack. His boat has been submerged for 9 hours. Battery charge, 42%. Diesel engines rumble, generators hum, batteries replenish. His radio operator reports positions from 11 other boats. Wolfpack Gruppe Lower, hunting in coordinated pattern across convoy routes. They've sunk 6 ships in 3 days. Tonight, they'll sink 6 more. British destroyers are predictable. Harass, force dives, wait for dawn aircraft. Germans surface after midnight, strike fast, submerge before dawn. Tactics perfected over 3 years. Nollau has executed surface night attacks 40 times. Lost count of kills after 20. The Atlantic belongs to submarines after dark. Always has. His watch officer, Oberleutnant Klaus Weber, 26, from Munich, asks about radar detection risk. Nollau laughs. The sound carries across dark water. British radar, he says, loud enough for Deckwatch to hear. It shows bearing, maybe rough range, but they can't target accurately. They'll shoot star shells, light us up, we'll crash dive. They'll drop depth charges on empty ocean. We'll be 200 meters deep before their charges hit 100. Weber nods, reassured. Doctrine is clear. Allied destroyers can detect but cannot kill surface submarines at night. The gap between detection and targeting is measured in minutes. Minutes submarines use to dive deep, evade, survive. Every U-boat captain knows this. Nollau has survived 12 depth charge attacks. He'll survive 12 more. Then someone on deck watch points toward horizon, bearing 225 degrees. No lights visible, but something about the way waves break suggests solid object. Maybe destroyer, maybe just weather. Nollau checks his chronometer, 0228 hours, 4 hours until dawn. Plenty of time to dive, reposition, surface elsewhere. Spencer closes to 3,000 yards. Chen tracks the contact perfectly. U-boat hasn't moved, hasn't dived, hasn't detected threat. Thayer orders speed reduction, 10 knots. Engine noise drops. The destroyer's bow cuts through swells almost silently. Morrison mans the Hedgehog director, gyroscopically stabilized platform that aims 24 mortars simultaneously. Each mortar contains 35 pounds of Torpex explosive. Each fires in sequence, 1/4 second apart. Pattern covers 120 feet diameter. Contact fuses detonate only on steel impact. Physics are elegant. Throw mortars ahead of ship, submarine ahead of ship. Mortars fall while ship closes. Pattern lands exactly where submarine floats. No Doppler effect. No wake turbulence, just precise geometry calculated by engineers who understood that depth charges explode behind attacking ship, always giving submarines seconds to dive, evade, survive. Range, 2,000 yards. Thayer can see U-boat silhouette now, conning tower distinct against lighter sky, deck guns visible, men moving. Germans haven't seen Spencer. Destroyer's dark paint blends with ocean. Low profile disappears against swells. Radar gives hunters what submarines owned for 3 years. Invisible approach. The tables turn completely. Morrison calculates firing solution. Range, 1,200 yards. Bearing, 046 degrees. Target speed, 0. U-boat stationary. Charging batteries. Solution locked. Hedgehog ready. 24 mortars elevated 35 degrees. Fuses armed. 1 press, 1 spread, 1 chance. Miss means U-boat dives, escapes, lives to kill another convoy. Hit means submarine dies before knowing why. Thayer gives the order at 0231 hours. Fire Hedgehog. Morrison presses contact. First mortar launches with dull thump. No flash, no smoke, just projectile arcing into darkness. Second mortar fires. Third, fourth. The sequence continues for 6 seconds. 24 mortars airborne, 65 pounds each. Trajectories calculated for 1,200-yard impact. Time of flight, 14 seconds. Sound of launch carries across water. Naval hears it. Distinctive sound no depth charge makes. His brain processes. Mortars, not guns, not torpedoes, mortars. But mortars explode on water impact. Standard anti-submarine weapon, ineffective against surfaced boats. He's not concerned. He's miscalculated catastrophically. The first mortar hits U-534's pressure hull forward of conning tower at 0231 Tunfun. 35 pounds of Torpex detonates on contact. The explosion tears through steel plating, ruptures hull, vents directly into forward torpedo room. Water pressure at surface is minimal, but hole is massive, 2 meters diameter. Ocean floods in at 40 tons per minute. Second mortar impacts 3 meters aft. Third hits conning tower base. Fourth, fifth, sixth. Pattern saturates submarine with explosive force no U-boat can survive. Naval is thrown against conning tower rim. His left leg breaks. Weber disappears. Blast wave throws him into ocean. Deck watch crew, 6 men, evaporate in spray of steel and water. The submarine's bow dips immediately. Angle 15 degrees down. Water floods torpedo room, forward battery compartment, control room. Emergency klaxon sounds, but there's no time. From first impact to loss of buoyancy, 18 seconds. Naval tries to scream dive order, but his lungs are full of blood. U-534 slides under at 0231-32. 48 men aboard, 0 survivors. Radio operator's last transmission cut mid-word. Angr. Spencer's crew watches from 1,200 yards. Chenmark's splash patterns on radar. 12 distinct returns, then nothing. Morrison counts impacts. Audio sensors detect 6 explosions, each distinctive crack of Torpex against steel. Thayer logs time. 0231, 14 to 0231.32. 18 seconds from first hit to submarine gone. He's run depth charge attacks that lasted 30 minutes, damaged U-boats that escaped. Hedgehog kills in 18 seconds. The tactical equation transforms completely. Morrison plots next contact. Chen reports second radar return, range 4,500 yards, bearing 112 degrees. Another surfaced U-boat. Probably detected Spencer's attack, probably preparing to dive. Thayer calculates can intercept in 12 minutes before submarine crash dives. The hunt continues. If these numbers are shocking you, hit that like button. 6 mortars to kill submarine designed to survive depth charges. 18 seconds to sink boat, built to dive in 45. 1,200 yards, range where U-boats consider themselves safe from surface attack. Every number rewrites doctrine written in blood over 3 years of losing. Gruppe Löwe radio net explodes with traffic. U-534 missed scheduled check-in. U-511 Captain Korvettenkapitän Fritz Schneewind orders radio silence, assumes no loud detected, dove evaded. Standard procedure. He'll surface again in different position, but no loud won't surface. Ever. Morrison steps outside CIC after the kill. 0245 hours. Stars visible through broken clouds. Temperature 4 degrees. He lights cigarette with shaking hands. First one in 6 months. Promised himself he'd quit. But tonight he needs something. 48 men just died because his mathematics were perfect. He thinks about their families. Wives in Hamburg, Munich, Berlin, who'll receive telegrams in 2 weeks. Vermisst. Missing. Not dead. Missing. Because submarines vanish and bodies don't come home. His father pulled lobster traps in weather like this. Pulled them up, checked them, reset them. Simple mathematics of fishing. Now Morrison calculates where men die. Stars don't care about mathematics. They just burn. He finishes the cigarette, drops it in ocean, watches the ember extinguish, goes back inside. Chen reports third contact. Morrison plots intercept. The mathematics continue. Spencer closes on second contact. Range, 3,200 yards. Target moving now. 8 knots, heading south, still surfaced. Captain running diesels, making time while batteries charge. U-511 has been submerged 11 hours. Battery charge 38%. Needs 2 more hours surfaced. But dawn comes in 3.5 hours. Mathematics favor submarine. Time enough to charge, dive, reposition before British aircraft arrive. Schneewind is cautious, experienced, survivor of 19 patrols. He's detected Spencer's radar emissions. Distinctive pulse, British Type 271 makes. He's not concerned. Allied destroyers can't target accurately enough to matter. He'll finish charging, dive at 0600, surface elsewhere tomorrow night. Doctrine says he's safe. Doctrine is 3 years obsolete. Morrison calculates approach, different angle this time. Beam attack, target moving requires lead calculation. He plots intercept, target's current position plus 8 knots movement plus 12-second flight time equals impact point 200 yards ahead of current location. Math is complex, but Morrison worked as surveyor before war, calculated angles for highway construction. Now he calculates death. Range closes, 2,500 yards, 2,000, 1,500. U-511 watch officer spots Spencer at 1,400 yards, silhouette against eastern horizon, first hint of false dawn. He shouts warning. Schneewind orders crash dive, klaxon sounds, deck watch scrambles below, diesels cut. Electric motors engage, vents open. U-511's bow drops. Angle, 10 degrees down, but submarines don't dive instantly. Physics require venting ballast tanks, flooding dive tanks, overcoming positive buoyancy. Time from dive order to deck awash, 40 seconds. Spencer is 1,200 yards away. Morrison already has firing solution locked. Hedgehog launches at 247.05. 24 mortars arc toward point 200 yards ahead of diving submarine. Schneewind watches from conning tower hatch, mortars visible against sky, distinct parabolic trajectories. He knows instantly these aren't depth charges. Depth charges fall behind attacking ship. These fall ahead. His brain processes implications in half-second. A head-throwing weapon means no escape window, means mortars impact exactly where submarine descends. He screams for emergency blow, but it's already too late. First mortar hits conning tower at 0247.19. U-511 is 10 feet below surface, deck awash, tower exposed. Impact detonates 35 pounds of Torpex into pressure hull at tower base. Explosion ruptures control room, kills everyone inside instantly. Second mortar hits forward hull. Third hits aft. Pattern saturates diving submarine with explosive force that doesn't just damage, it kills. U-511's hull integrity fails at 4 impact points simultaneously. Ocean floods in at 200 tons per minute. Submarine continues diving because momentum carries mass downward, but it's no longer controlled descent. It's falling. At 80 meters depth, pressure hull collapses completely. Implosion kills remaining crew instantly. From first impact to final collapse, 96 seconds, 51 men aboard, 0 survivors. Chen logs second kill, 0247.19. Morrison marks grid reference Delta 23. Thayer updates battle plot. 2 U-boats dead, 10 remaining. Convoy HX-237 untouched. Radio room intercepts German transmissions. Confused chatter. Missed check-ins. Wolfpack coordination breaking down. Gruppe Lua commander orders general withdrawal. Something is killing his boats and he doesn't know what. Spencer has 1 hour fuel remaining on station. Enough for 1 more intercept, maybe 2. Chen reports third contact. Range 6,200 yards, bearing 274 degrees. Target stationary. Another submarine charging batteries. Unaware 2 packmates are dead. Thayer orders intercept. The Atlantic night belongs to destroyers now. Tell me in comments. Could you make the call to fire knowing every miss means submarine escapes? Every hit means 50 men dead in seconds. Between April and October 1943, Hedgehog-equipped destroyers sank 29 U-boats in Atlantic theater. Conventional depth charge attacks during same period, 17 kills from 683 attacks. Success rate, depth charges 2.5%. Hedgehog, 47%. The mathematics are devastating, more brutal. Average time from attack initiation to U-boat destroyed. Depth charges 40 minutes. Hedgehog under 2 minutes. Submariner survival rate, post-depth charge, 12%. Post-Hedgehog, 0.8%. One man survived Hedgehog attack in 6 months. U-453, May 1943. Hull ruptured, but maintained buoyancy long enough for crew to escape. One man swam 4 hours, rescued by neutral Spanish fishing boat. He spent 3 months in hospital recovering from hypothermia, wrote 14-page report for Kriegsmarine analyzing what killed his submarine. His conclusion, declassified in 1974, weapon explodes only on steel contact. Pattern saturates target area. No evasion possible. Recommend immediate withdrawal from North Atlantic pending tactical countermeasure development. No countermeasure was ever developed. The physics couldn't be defeated. Chen sits in his bunk 0315 hours. Can't sleep. Never can after kills. He pulls out letter he's been writing to his parents. Started it 3 weeks ago. Never finished. Never will. Dear Mom and Dad, I can't tell you what I do here. Classified. But I can tell you I'm afraid every single day. Afraid of torpedoes. Afraid of fire. Afraid of drowning in darkness, more afraid of what I'm becoming, good at killing, too good. Tonight we killed 2 submarines, maybe 100 men total. I pushed buttons and men died. Physics says I'm just observing. Conscience says I'm responsible. Math doesn't care about conscience. I miss the grocery store. I miss stocking shelves and talking to customers and equations that just calculated change, not death. War makes killers efficient. Peace seems impossible. Love you both. Robert. He folds the letter, puts it in his footlocker with 11 others, none ever mailed. Some truths families shouldn't carry. Lieutenant Morrison kept tally board in Spencer's CIC, 1 chalk mark per successful Hedgehog kill. By November 1943, 8 marks. By May 1944, 15. By war's end, 23. He never discussed the tallies with crew. His diary, donated to Naval War College in 1989, contains 1 repeated entry across multiple dates. Another boat, another 50 men, another calculation I'll remember forever. Spencer survived the war. Morrison stayed Navy, retired as commander in 1964, taught mathematics at small college in Maine. Students who asked about his wartime service received 1-sentence answer. I was very good at geometry. He died in 1987, age 72. His obituary mentioned decorated war service, didn't specify decorations. His daughter found box of letters in his study. 43 letters written to families of men he'd killed, never mailed. Each letter apologized for efficient mathematics. Third contact, U-221 Captain Oberleutnant Hans Treuer, 29, from Berlin, surveyor before war, believed submarines were mathematically superior to surface ships in night combat. His calculations accounted for speed, diving time, acoustic signatures, radar detection ranges. His calculations were correct for 1940-1942 technology. He didn't know technology had changed. Spencer intercepted U-221 at 2 hours, range 900 yards before Troja detected threat. Hedgehog pattern launched at 03241, impacted at 032.55. 7 mortars hit. Submarine broke apart on surface, pressure hull catastrophically failed, boat literally split in half amidships, forward section sank in 12 seconds, aft section remained afloat for 37 seconds before following, 46 men aboard. 3 escaped the aft section, swam in 8-degree water calling for help Spencer couldn't provide. Rescue meant stopping meant other U-boats could target stationary destroyer. Thayer logged their positions, radioed coordinates to rescue ships 60 miles behind. All 3 men were dead from hypothermia before rescue arrived. Troja's body was recovered in 1989 by oil exploration team. 70 meters depth, still wearing Knight's Cross. Diary in waterproof pouch described final moments. Destroyer appeared from darkness. Sound unlike anything I know. Impacts before dive order completed. Hull failing, water rising. I miscalculated fatally. Grupper lower commander ordered general withdrawal at 0324 hours. Radio intercept decoded by Spencer. All boats withdraw grid Charlie. Immediate. New weapon. Casualties severe. Regroup dawn. 10 U-boats retreated. Convoy HX-237 proceeded unmolested. 0 ships torpedoed. 0 merchant sailors killed. 3 U-boats destroyed. 145 German submariners dead. Hedgehog ammunition expended. 72 mortars. Cost per mortar $85. Total ammunition cost $6,120. Cost per U-boat destroyed $2,040. Replacement cost of 1 U-boat 7.5 million Reichsmarks. Economic mathematics of anti-submarine warfare shifted completely. British Admiralty analysed Hedgehog effectiveness, May 1943. Report, declassified 1979, concluded, weapon transforms submarine warfare by eliminating warning window between detection and kill. Forward throwing eliminates Doppler uncertainty. Contact fuse eliminates depth estimation requirement. Pattern density ensures multiple hits per attack. Submarine survival becomes statistical impossibility rather than probability. Report recommended immediate production expansion, 1,000 units by December 1943. Production reached target September 1943. By December, 1,400 units deployed. By May 1944, 2,100. Every Allied destroyer capable of carrying Hedgehog received installation priority over new construction. Submarine kill rates increased 400% in 6 months. U-boat losses in North Atlantic, May-October 1943, 217 boats. German submarine construction, same period, 193 boats. The mathematics turned catastrophic. Kriegsmarine was losing boats faster than shipyards could build replacements. Kapitän zur See Karl Dönitz, commander of U-boat fleet, wrote in diary July 1943, "We are losing the tonnage war. New Allied weapon kills submarines with efficiency previously impossible. Countermeasures attempted. Deeper diving, increased speed, underwater endurance. All insufficient. Physics favors the hunter. We have become prey." Diary declassified 1968. Entry July 12, 1943. Lost 9 boats this week. New weapon responsible for 6. Crews calling it instant death. Morale critical. Captains requesting transfer surface fleet. I have ordered all requests denied. We fight until physics solution found or boats exhausted. No physics solution was found. Boats were exhausted. By November 1943, Dönitz ordered partial withdrawal from North Atlantic. Black May losses extended across summer, made Wolfpack tactics unsustainable. 136 U-boats operational, 300 required for effective interdiction. The mathematics no longer supported offensive operations. We're almost at the most impossible part, the moment that changed naval doctrine permanently. Spencer continued patrols through 1944. Morrison's tally board reached final count, 23 kills, 4 damaged, 0 escapes. His success rate, 85%, highest of any Hedgehog operator in Atlantic Fleet. Naval analysts studied his firing solutions, found pattern. Morrison calculated impact points based on submarine's next probable position rather than current position. Standard doctrine taught firing at current position. Morrison taught himself to aim where submarines would be 3 seconds future. Difference? 3 seconds equals 30 yards at 10 knot submarine speed. 30 yards equals difference between near miss and direct hit. Simple geometry. Devastating results. Navy incorporated Morrison's technique into Hedgehog training manual, March 1944. Kill rates across fleet increased another 23%. One lieutenant's innovation multiplied force effectiveness exponentially. German submariners developed dark humor about Hedgehog. Intercepted POW conversations, recorded and transcribed by British intelligence. You hear the mortars launch, you know you have 12 seconds. What do you do with 12 seconds? Some men pray. Some men write final thoughts. Some men just wait. The sound of impacts, steel on steel. That's the last sound. Then nothing. Very efficient. Very German engineering, except British made it. Another recording. U-boat commander captured June 1944. We trained for depth charges. You hear them coming, feel concussion, hull flexes, sometimes holds, sometimes fails. But you have chance, Hedgehog. No chance. Pattern lands, pattern explodes, submarine dies. Mathematical certainty. We became statistics. Thayer stands on Spencer's Bridge, 0432 hours, dawn approaching. 3 U-boats dead. Convoy safe. Mission successful by any metric. But he feels nothing like victory. His diary entry that morning, preserved in Personal Papers, Library of Congress. We killed 145 men tonight, not destroyed enemy assets. Killed men, sailors like us. They followed orders. We followed orders. Technology determined who lived, who died. Not courage, not skill, just mathematics. I designed firing solutions that gave Morrison perfect geometry. My calculations killed efficiently. This is what victory looks like. Empty ocean where submarines were. Empty ocean where men were. The mathematics prove effectiveness. Conscience proves nothing. Both are true, both permanent. Some nights I dream in equations. Some nights equations dream in bodies. Post-war analysis calculated Hedgehog's strategic impact. Weapon directly responsible for 29 U-boat kills in 6 months. Indirectly responsible for 74 additional kills. Submarines forced into deeper, slower, less effective patrol patterns that made them vulnerable to air attack. Combined effect, 103 U-boats destroyed due to Hedgehog deployment. German submarine offensive capability reduced 68%. Allied shipping losses reduced 73%. Convoy system became statistically survivable rather than statistically deadly. Atlantic supply lines sustained Operation Overlord, June 1944. Without sustained supply line, D-Day logistics fail. Hedgehog didn't win D-Day. But D-Day doesn't happen without Atlantic secured. Atlantic isn't secured without submarine threat neutralized. Submarine threat isn't neutralized without Hedgehog. British engineer who designed Hedgehog contact fuse, Lieutenant Commander Charles Goodeve, wrote in memoir published 1972, I designed fuse to solve technical problem. Depth charges explode near target, often damage without destroying. Solution seemed obvious. Make weapon explode only on direct contact. Eliminates near misses. Requires hit for detonation. Simple physics. Implications troubled me later. I created weapon with zero margin for error. Submarine captain has no warning, no evasion, no survival. I solved mathematical problem efficiently. Created moral problem I still consider. Goodeve died 1980, age 79. His obituary called him father of modern anti-submarine warfare. His diary, sealed until 2020, contained extensive reflections on ethics of efficient killing. Final entry, 1979. Hedgehog saved thousands of Allied merchant sailors. Killed thousands of German submariners. Both facts true, both facts permanent. Mathematics cares nothing for morality. Engineers must. By October 1943, German submarine doctrine incorporated Hedgehog threat explicitly. Training manual, captured 1945, translated 1947. Allied ahead-throwing mortar weapon eliminates tactical advantages of surface charging. Recommendation, remain submerged continuously, surface only in extremis, minimize time exposed. Battery management becomes critical survival skill. Doctrine effectively ended submarine surface operations in North Atlantic. Submarines became fully submerged weapons, slower, shorter range, less effective. Battery technology couldn't support extended submerged operations. U-boats designed for surface transit became trapped underwater. Operational radius decreased 70%. Target acquisition became nearly impossible. Wolfpack coordination collapsed. Submarines couldn't communicate effectively while submerged. Hedgehog didn't just kill submarines. It made submarine warfare strategically obsolete with technology available. 1943. Spencer's crew received Navy Unit Commendation December 1943. Thayer promoted commander, assigned to Submarine Development Group, tasked with improving Allied submarine tactics based on lessons learned hunting U-boats. Morrison received Bronze Star, continued as Hedgehog operator through 1944. Chen received commission as ensign, transferred to radar training school, taught operators to recognize submarine signatures. 3 men who revolutionized anti-submarine warfare spent rest of war teaching others. Their innovations persisted. Forward-throwing weapons remained standard anti-submarine armament through Cold War. Modern anti-submarine rockets, ASROC, VLA, RBU 6000, are direct descendants of Hedgehog's forward-throwing concept. Physics of ahead-throwing weapons proved so superior that depth charges became obsolete by 1955. Kriegsmarine submarine force never recovered from 1943 losses. U-boat construction continued until May 1945. Total production: 1,154 boats. Total losses: 785 boats. Survival rate 32%, lowest of any military branch, any nation. World War II. Submarine service began war as elite, ended war as statistical death sentence. Hedgehog transformed equations. Where submarines once hunted with impunity after dark, destroyers turned tables completely. Where U-boats once owned night, radar plus Hedgehog made darkness irrelevant. Where German captains once calculated survival probabilities, they calculated time until death. The strategic balance shifted in 6 months. Technology changed faster than tactics adapted. One weapon made 3 years of doctrine obsolete. Subscribe para análises completas de 20 minutos que reescrevem o que você sabia sobre guerra. 2 vídeos por dia. Next video: how 23 gliders carrying 0 weapons destroyed Germany's atomic bomb program in 1 night without firing a shot, and why the mission stayed classified for 30 years because success was too perfect to believe. The lesson extends beyond submarines. Hedgehog demonstrated principle applicable across all warfare: detect precisely, target accurately, kill efficiently, remove chance, remove escape, remove survival margin. Modern precision weapons, laser-guided bombs, cruise missiles, drone strikes follow same principle Hedgehog pioneered. Locate target, calculate impact point, deliver explosive directly. Simple mathematics, devastating application. Evolution of warfare trends toward accuracy over power, precision over scale, certainty over probability. Hedgehog started trend 1943. Trend continues today. Commander Thayer's mathematics students at Annapolis before war learned calculus, geometry, navigation. After war, returning as instructor, he taught same subjects plus 1 additional topic: ethics of applied mathematics. Lesson plan preserved in Naval Academy archives. Mathematics optimizes efficiently. But efficiency applied to killing creates moral questions pure mathematics cannot answer. Engineers' responsibility extends beyond functionality to implications. You will design weapon systems. You will calculate optimal solutions. You will create efficient methods. Consider what you create before creating it. Mathematics is neutral. Application is not. Lesson was controversial. Some faculty argued ethics had no place in mathematics curriculum. Thayer maintained position: if we teach men to calculate death efficiently, we must teach them to consider death seriously. Final numbers. British Admiralty calculated in 1946 that weapons saved approximately 40,000 Allied merchant sailor lives by reducing U-boat effectiveness 73% May-December 1943. Cost savings, approximately £164 million in prevented shipping losses. Return on investment. Hedgehog development cost £700,000, deployed cost £12 million, prevented losses £164 million. Ratio 13 to 1. From purely economic perspective, most cost-effective weapon system developed entire war. From human perspective, 40,000 lives saved, approximately 4,000 German submariners killed by Hedgehog directly. Mathematics remain complex. Morality remains complicated. Effectiveness remains undeniable. Spencer survived war, decommissioned 1946, scrapped 1948. Morrison's tally board was preserved, donated to Naval War College Museum, where it remains displayed with placard. 23 chalk marks. Each mark represents one submarine destroyed, approximately 50 men killed, and one mathematical calculation that changed naval warfare permanently. Museum visitors often photograph tally board. Few consider mathematics behind marks. Fewer still consider men behind mathematics. War makes mathematics of death necessary. Peace makes contemplation of those mathematics possible. Both are part of legacy. They laughed at forward-throwing mortars, another British gadget that would fail in combat like so many before. Captain Lieutenant Naval told his crew May 2nd, 1943, the night before his final patrol. British are desperate. They create new weapons because old tactics fail. But physics of submarine warfare favor boats, not destroyers. We surface at night, we hold advantage. Always have. Some new mortar won't change 3 years of proven tactics. His diary, recovered with his body 1989, contained no entries after May 2nd. His XO, Oberleutnant Weber, survived long enough to write brief note on waterproof paper, found in pocket. Mortars explode only on steel. Pattern is perfect. No escape. Naval was wrong. Weber's body was never recovered. 145 German submariners died in 3 attacks, covering 70 minutes. Gruppe Löwe Command, receiving casualty reports at dawn, ordered immediate tactical review. Report submitted May 15, 1943, to Dönitz. New weapon eliminates all submarine advantages in surface engagement. Recommend immediate withdrawal from affected areas pending countermeasure development. Dönitz responded same day. Countermeasures under investigation. Until developed, boats will remain submerged maximum duration. Surface operations suspended indefinitely. The admission came from Commander, who pioneered Wolfpack tactics, who believed submarines were unstoppable, who calculated victory through tonnage warfare mathematics. One weapon forced complete doctrine reversal. Laughter stopped May 3rd, 1943. Never resumed. Hedgehog proved principle that dominates warfare today. See first, shoot first, hit first. Technology that enables precision targeting wins. German submarines couldn't adapt because adaptation required physics breakthrough. Submarines must surface to charge batteries. Surface makes them vulnerable. Vulnerability plus accurate weapon equals death. No tactical solution existed, only strategic solution, retreat. Mathematics forced withdrawal. Pride resisted. Casualties proved mathematics correct. By November 1943, U-boat force was operationally defeated. Boats continued patrols through May 1945, but strategic impact approached zero. Allied shipping losses final 18 months war. Negligible. Submarine threat that nearly strangled Britain 1940-1942 became manageable nuisance 1943-1945. One weapon changed everything because one weapon solved physics problem no tactics could overcome. The men who died in U-534, U-511, U-221 were sailors doing their duty. The men who killed them were sailors doing theirs. Neither side evil, both sides skilled. Technology determined outcomes. Hedgehog made outcomes certain rather than probable. That's the lesson that echoes. Warfare evolves towards certainty. Weapons become more accurate. Targeting becomes more precise. Survival margins decrease. Honor matters less. Mathematics matters more. Men still fight. But increasingly, physics determines who lives and who dies in seconds too brief for courage to matter. Hedgehog demonstrated this May 1943. Principle remains valid today. Question remains, if we can create weapons that make death mathematically certain, should we? Mathematics provides no answer, only results.